Alright, time for a break. I've been wondering about a question. How do you see the image of God? What in this world do you relate to seeing the image of God? I would ask everyone, if I was in a congregation, maybe to spend 1 minute, that I'd issue you a bit of paper and a pencil, and I want you to draw for me what God looks like. Now, I guarantee you there'd be 50 different sheets of paper come back with different images, because the image of God would represent something different to us all, I guess. I found that it's a pretty hard question. I found it was hard for me to answer that question in 1 minute, because I'm looking at something that God has a face or something like that. I've drawn down a couple of thoughts that I had in a minute. This was one. This is an image of me of God. And also, and forgive my drawing capabilities, but this as well. But these aren't really images of God. These are aspects of God. These are hallmarks of God. It's not really an image. So what can I draw on to see an image of God? Well, if I look at the biblical description of what God looks like, there's two examples I want to draw on. The first one we see is from Moses receiving the 10 Commandments. Now Moses says to God as he receives the commandments, "Show me your glory." And in Exodus 33, it reports back that God says that you can't see my face and live. So God has a face. What does that face look like? I think the real example for us is we need to go to where we see God, and that's been identified. And we must look at Jesus. Now, when Jesus was asked by the Jewish leaders to give him a sign that he is the Messiah, the one from God, Jesus called them a wicked generation, and he says, "I will give you a sign." And what he meant is he is the sign. He is the one that they should be looking at to see God. Jesus makes other comments regarding that if you want to know what God looks like or the nature of God is like, to look at him. He says in John 10 that God and he are one. He also says to the disciples in John 14 that the world will not see me now, but you will see me. So the risen Jesus is alive and we will see him. So how do we see him, I guess? Well, I think it comes through this word, reveal. And what does it mean to reveal? Well, to reveal something doesn't mean it's not there. It means it's hidden and you can't see it. Now, Paul tells us that we see by faith, not by sight. So, how do we see? Excuse me, by faith. Well, there's actually a book in the Bible called Revelation, which is the act of revealing. That's what it actually means. You know, when a painter paints a picture, or a sculptor, or someone writes a tune, they impart into that art something of themselves. That you can see something of them. And you'd see this by them doing 2, 3 or 4 paintings and realise, excuse me, the brush stroke or something is related to all of them and you will see it. I mean, for me, I see the majesty of a sunrise more than I see in a sunset. I see this glorious and almighty presence. But I don't see the image of God in that. I see it as an aspect of God. As I just said, an image for me of God is love and peace. Well, I don't see love and peace in a sunrise. I see almighty and glory, something different. So if I take those two images that I drawn together as aspects of God, how do I see what is revealed to me about an image of God? And I want to say that it would be this. So that is supposed to be two hands shaking. It is connection. It is how love is shared. It is how peace is given. And if we look at Jesus, how he reveals himself, there is something when you find the image of God in something that calls out to you stronger than the picture you're seeing. In a sense, when God reveals himself to you, it is him, it is that attracts you, not you that attracted to it. It is somewhat of a deeper thing happening for you in what you're witnessing that will talk about this is God or something to do with God. In that same reading from Exodus 33 of Moses, God says, my presence will be with you. So there's always something working. It's never just us working in trying to understand and connect with God. God has given us a soul, and through our soul, we have a place where God can connect. And that all came to be activated. The circuit was made full by Jesus dying and then resurrecting, coming back to life. That was then installed. It wasn't about going to the temple anymore to find God. It was about you, wherever you are, you can have a personal relationship with God. You just need to accept Jesus as that medium that works in between. I want to say to you, and I want to ask you, try that exercise. Try and draw God and see what image comes to you. Or look around and see what image you can relate to give you an understanding of what God looks like for you. And what God will look like will have aspects of God. That will be your hint as to what God looks like for you. It is all about the way that Jesus connects with us. And the way Jesus connects with us is by revealing himself to us. Bringing him in from a hidden state into something that we can see. And we do this by faith. Let me pray for us. God, it is remarkable that the creator of this world, you, creator of everything that is good, would want to be in relationship with us. And not on your terms, but on ours. Anytime, anywhere. We give thanks that you continue to call us in different ways and you show yourself in ways that reflect your magnificence and your glory. And we continue, God, to ask that you not only just sustain us, but you love us in a way, God, that we can undeniably say, this is our God in my life. Amen. Cheers.